Welcome dear students. The elective course of BSc Agriculture 5th semester Elect Agron 311 Agricultural Waste Management. This is the 6th lecture of Unit 1 Impact of Waste on Plants. If you see the syllabus, the last topic of Unit 1 is Impact of Agricultural Waste on Plant. Actually in the syllabus this impact of agricultural waste is being studied in three sections. One is impact of agricultural waste on environment, another is impact of agricultural waste on soil, third is the impact of agricultural waste on plants. So impact of agricultural waste on environment and on soil, that has already been discussed in detail. Today I will discuss the impact of agricultural waste on plants. Basically, if you correlate, first you listen to today's lecture, then you correlate all these three environment, soil and plants. These all are interrelated. So if agricultural waste has any impact on soil, whether it is good or bad, consequently it will impact the crop or plant also. So that soil part and environment part has already been discussed. So today here I will discuss the fate of crop residue. The fate of crop residue is a repetition in this lecture because it has already been discussed, but how this agricultural waste will impact the plant, to start with, to correlate this topic with the fate of agriculture, this first slide will be discussed here. Second is the incorporation of crop residue into soil. Third is the application of compost in field prepared from crop residue. Means the compost which is prepared from the crop residue, that compost is to be applied in the field, and then this will have the effect on the plant. So how it will affect the plant, that will be discussed. Poor and good quality compost. Effect of good quality compost on plant and effect of poor quality compost on plant. Mulching by crop residue. This is another application of crop residue. First, that crop residue, there are three applications. First, the crop residue is being incorporated into the soil, that is on-farm residue management. Second, off-farm residue management, that is, it is decomposed somewhere else, and then again we bring it to the field and we incorporate this compost into the crop, into the field. Third is again the type of on-farm management. Here we use crop residue as a mulch. So mulch has certain effect on the plants or on crop, that will be discussed here. So these are the fate of crop residue. The crop residues which are produced as a byproduct of our agricultural activity on the field, when we harvest the economic part of the crop, and the leftover in the field is known as crop residue. This crop residue will create problem for growing next crop. Even sometime we don't have time because we have harvested one crop and the sowing window of the next crop is on the verge. So we don't have much time to manage this. So this is the improper waste management, that burning is being done or it is collected and taken out from the farm and it is dumped somewhere in the open field. So this is known as open yard dumping. It is not desirable. So these two are the improper management. Then on-farm management. On-farm management means the waste is not taken out from the farm. It is because it is generated at the farm and it is managed at the farm only. So this is known as on-farm management. Here the two practices are common and being adopted by the farmers. These practices are incorporation into the soil. So the agricultural waste which is produced, immediately that waste is incorporated into the soil. Then whatever is going to be done with the waste, that will happen in the soil. That is the decomposition. So decomposition, aerobic decomposition and anaerobic decomposition, that I have already told you. In soil most of the time, or in nature, aerobic decomposition is common. So when we incorporated this agriculture waste into the soil, it is decomposed aerobically in the soil. Another is mulching. What is mulching? We will discuss here. Of farm management means the agriculture waste is taken out from the farm and it is being managed out of the farm. When we are managing our agriculture waste out of the farm, so our farm is vacated immediately for the next crop or for the further operations. When we are managing it off the farm, definitely there we will produce certain things which has the certain other uses or other applications that will not return back to the field. So there is no need to study the impact of that part of agriculture waste or that produced which is prepared from the agriculture waste on environment and on soil. Environment, yes, we can study the impact of that part of waste on environment because the environment is present everywhere. But if the part of the agriculture waste is not returning back to the field, their impact on soil and their impact on plant, this cannot be studied because it has no relationship. For example, if agriculture waste is going for the animal feed, so animal feed means our crop residue, we are using it for the animal feed. Animal are, this is the food for the animal, so it is not returning back to the field. Briquetting. Briquetting is a fuel. So if we are burning it into furnace as a fuel, this is not returning back to the field. So use of alcohol, use of power generation, these are the off-farm activities where the waste, agricultural waste are being used for the other purposes. It is not returning back to our farm. But this composting and manure, it is returning back to the farm. So again it has the impact on soil and it has impact on the plant. So this will be discussed here. Composting is very important because composting is a process, it takes time. And if our composting is not proper, it has the adverse effect on the plant. And if we have a very good quality compost, means fully rotten compost, it has the advantageous effect. So these effects will be discussed in this lecture. So first simple, easy and widely adopted practice is incorporation of crop residue into the soil. In this practice, definitely implements are required. After harvesting the crop and crop is taken out from the field, immediately the residue, which is straw, chaff or stubbles, immediately it is incorporated into the soil as a raw. Definitely the machinery operated by tractors are required if the field size is big, because the soil is to be turned up and down. So this implement will turn the soil up and down, and this will help the incorporation of these residue into the soil. Here you are seeing that residue has been incorporated into the soil, but it is still in raw form. After that, irrigation is required because aerobic composting of the agriculture waste, that I have already explained you. Remember that lecture, factors affecting decomposition. Moisture is one of the factors that has been taught to you in that lecture. So moisture should be present, air should be present. Definitely air will be present because this equipment or this agricultural implement, it is turning the soil up and down. So soil is become friable and the entry of air into the soil is quite easy in this condition. Agriculture waste is incorporated here. So agriculture waste is present below the soil surface. Soil is friable, entry of oxygen or air is very easy. Moisture is the factor because we have harvested the crop, so the residual moisture in the field is very less. So the field should be irrigated to maintain the proper moisture for the microbial activity. Then the microbial activity starts, and the same process which I have told you, aerobic decomposition of agriculture waste, that will happen in your field. So that's decomposition process. You need not to carry this decomposition process, or you need not to conduct this process out of the farm in under your regulation. This will naturally occur in your field, but time is required, and because this agriculture waste is very light in nature, it will decompose most of the time in 1 month in the field. So it has the same effect, which is the effect of compost. It is on the soil and on the environment and on the plant also. So it increases the microbial population in soil, it increases the organic component or organic matter in the soil, it increases the physical property of the soil, it increases the infiltration rate of the soil, it increases the water holding capacity of the soil. So this is the impact on soil. It means this compost is making our soil in good physical, chemical and biological health. If our soil is good in physical, chemical and biological health, definitely the plant which is grown in this soil will be good in growth and the plant will be healthy. So the overall impact of this crop residue on farm management, incorporation into the soil, it will give you improved plant growth and the good plant health. Next thing I will discuss with you. Next is that the same thing. In this case, you are allowing the decomposition of the waste in the or at the site itself. But in the next case, you have taken out the agricultural waste out of the farm, then you have converted it into the compost, and then again this compost is being applied in your field. What will be the situation after 1 month of this plot? The situation will be same like this, that decomposed, but here that decomposition will take some time and you will have to watch this process. I have told you in that lecture, turning of the lot or heap daily, so that entry of oxygen is very easy, will be easy. So that thing you will have to maintain, then you will get a very good quality decomposed material, that is the compost. If it is applied in the field, so well rotted compost, if it is applied in the field, it has the same advantage which is narrated here. Improved, it provides organic matter to the field, it provides nutrient in a stable organic form, means this compost, it has the nutrients in organic form, means it is in immobilized form. So immobilization and mineralization, that I have told you, this process will occur simultaneously. The both process will occur in the when it is applied in the soil, and it will be available to the plants. So it is a very beauty of this compost. See, if you will apply chemical fertilizer to the field for providing the nutrients, so one day, day one, for example, today you are applying chemical fertilizer to the field, tomorrow it will be day one, the nutrient availability to the plant will be highest. Then it is going to decrease second day, third day, fourth day, and even after 1 week there will be no nutrient available for the plant due to this fertilizer applied. Nutrients will be there because some nutrients will be converted into the unavailable form, then again it will be converted into the available form. But loss of nutrient from the chemical fertilizer is very fast. This is the beauty of compost, that it is a slow releasing nutrient manure, we can say. this compost is a manure, it will release the nutrient for the plant in a slower rate, so it will provide the nutrient to the plant for a longer time. That's why this is this is very good for the soil health and ultimately for the plant health. It improves the soil tilth. It is beneficial for the microorganisms which are present in the field, or it is adding some microorganisms to the field also for improving the soil health, for improving the health of your soil. So it is it increase the root growth of the plants. And when the root growth will be increased, definitely the plant health will be good, or the plant growth will be the fast, because it also improves the physical, biological and chemical properties of the soil. You know the physical, biological, chemical property. The chemical property means, see, if your soil is having the problem of acidity or alkalinity and you are dependent on the chemical fertilizer, you are just enhancing your problem. But if your soil has a problem of acidity or alkalinity and you are applying this compost will solve your problem of acidity and alkalinity also gradually, and to after certain years your soil will be very good and that will be of the neutral pH. So this is again a very good beauty of compost. So if the soil will be of neutral pH, it means most of the nutrients will be available to the plants and plant will show a very good growth and good health. It also reduces the erosion. It increases the water holding capacity of the soil, and it conserves the moisture in the field also. So again the ultimate impact is the improved plant growth and health. See, this is the practice when compost is being applied in the field. But what compost you are going to apply to your field, it is very important and it has the impact on plant. See, compost means well rotten organic matter. Well rotten. Well means partially rotten organic matter is not a good compost and it will harm your field, it will harm your crop. So here two photographs are present. First photograph is of partially rotten compost. Sometimes people are, because of the experience, you are not able to judge whether the organic matter is fully rotten and converted into the compost or some part is remaining, still it is remaining, still the composition process is going on. So a situation will arise that if you don't have any experience, you can judge it faulty. Your judgment will be faulty. So probably it may happen that the rotten process is not fully completed. It is not a mature compost, and you apply it to your field, then there will be the harmful effect. This is fully rotten compost or fully rotten FYM, we can also say. So the difference is that first of all your experience matters, but something is told by the lot also. When you see the lot and judge it, if the matter is somewhat brown in color or light in color, it has some organic matter, it has some fractions of dry organic waste. Some fraction of dry organic waste means some chaff or some straw or some leaves, it is present here, or it is not fully black in color, it is light red or it is light brown in color, or it means it is not mature compost, means the rotting process is not completed yet. Even when you see it, if you will hold it in your hand, some moisture will be present and it will stick on it in your hand. It will have some bad smell also. But when it is fully rotten, so it will be a granular structure. here it will be a cloudy structure. Some clouds will be found there. So if it is a cloudy structure, if it has a moisture, high moisture, if it has a bad smell, if it has a brown color, it is a cloudy, so it means it is not fully rotten. So this you have to judge it, and after all experience is required. But if it is a granular in color, totally granular in form, totally black in color or dark brown in color, when you press it in your hand, it will not stick on your hand, and moisture content will be very less. It is dry and it will not stick on your hand. If you smell it, the bad smell will not be present here. So this smell part I will tell you. This is here. Ammonia, yes. Its smell should be earthy and not sour like ammonia. Because this waste has the protein. Protein is broken down into amino acid, and amino acid is broken down into nitrogen. During the breaking down of the nitrogen, ammonia is generated, and ammonia smells very bad. So if the smell of ammonia, that is sour smell, खट्टा अगर स्मेल इसमें आती है अमोनिया जैसी, it means it is not fully rotten. But here all the ammonia is evaporated or converted into nitrate. So that ammonical smell will not be present in the fully rotten FYM or fully rotten compost, and it will be earthy smell. जैसे मिट्टी से आती है वैसे ही महक इसमें से आएगी. There will be no bad odor. But here in partially rotten compost, the bad odor will be there. So this is the fact that you will have to check whether it is immature or partially rotten compost, or it is mature or fully rotten compost. So this is the quality of compost. It should be of well maturity. It means it should be well rotten. No foreign matter. No foreign matter should be present in the compost. High amount of trace element is present in the compost. Good chemical characters mean the compost is of basically, see, one more thing I want to tell. If it is partially rotten compost, its pH will be acidic. But when it becomes fully rotten, here it will be of neutral pH. So good chemical characteristics. It contains humic substance. It has a good physical characters. I told you here. If it is cloudy, then it is partially rotten. When the all clods are broken into granules, when it is fully decomposed, it will be granular in structure, means it has a good physical structure. So good physical characters, no pathogenic organism and no organic contaminants. Organic contaminants means the dry leaves and chaff, it will not be present in this, it should not be present in the compost. So it should be good quality compost. So this is the tip for compost maturity. Its smell should not be earthy, or should not, its smell should be earthy. जैसे मिट्टी की महक आती है वैसे ही कंपोस्ट की महक आनी चाहिए. It should not be sour like ammonia. जैसे अमोनिया से महक आती है ना, तो अमोनिया वाली महक इसमें नहीं आनी चाहिए. अब आप लोग, somebody may ask you, if you don't know the ammonia smell, how it likes ammonia smell. So probably I can tell you, you just think over it. Smell of ammonia. If you know it, then it is very good. If you don't know it, then I am telling you, you know it, but you cannot recall it. So think over it. What type of smell comes from ammonia, think over it. If you have experienced in your life in past, or you can read somewhere in some articles also, and you think that what type of smell comes from the ammonia. So this will be discussed in webinar session. This should not produce heat after it is turned wetted. Again I told you, again remember my lecture of aerobic decomposition, where I told you that this compost, it should be turned daily. You should go there and in your heap you should turn it, so that the entry of the oxygen is easy and aerobic decomposition will be fast. I told you there again, you remember, when the decomposition process starts, the heat of the heap will increase, because this microorganism, they are respirating here there and they are generating the heat. So when you turn it, this heat will emit out, so you will feel the heat is coming from the heap. So if you are turning it and heat is coming out, it means it is partially decomposed, it is partially rotten, so you cannot use it. So there should be no heat when you turn it, or not wetted. वह गीला भी नहीं होना चाहिए, जो मैं आपको बता रहा था, चिपकेगा हाथ पे, गीला रहता है. Its color should be dark brown and black. The CN ratio should have 10 to 15 is to 1. Carbon 10 to 15 and nitrogen is 1. This CN ratio is required. Otherwise, if it is not fully decomposed, the CN ratio is very high. 40 is to 1, 50 is to 1, 70 is to 1 even for rice straw. It is 70 is to 1. But if it is decomposed, the CN ratio is 10 or 15 is to 1. So if it is partially decomposed and CN ratio is more than 30 is to 1, then what will be the consequences on plant, that will be discussed in further slides. So this is the effect of compost on plant growth. I told you that it will give the good growth and healthy growth to the plant. This is a wheat, where compost is applied in the soil. Here compost is not applied in the soil. This is the growth of wheat. Next is cowpea. Here the compost is applied in the soil. This is the growth of cowpea. Here compost is not applied in the soil, and this is the growth of cowpea. This is gram, chickpea, chana जो होता है. Compost is applied in the field. This is the growth of gram, and compost is not applied in the soil. This is the growth of chickpea. This is safflower. कुसुम का फूल होता है ना, तेल निकालने वाला पौधा है कुसुम. safflower is a oil seed crop. हिंदी में कुसुम बोलते हैं. This is the growth of safflower plant, where compost is applied in the soil, and this is the growth of safflower plant, where compost is not applied. So what we have seen there? So benefit of compost on the plant, if it is fully rotten compost, their benefit is good seed germination, good plant growth, that we have seen in the past slides, less disease and less insect infestation. As I told you, this compost is the free from the pathogens, so it has very less impact on the it reduces the disease or insect infestation. Nutrient deficiency is not observed in the plant. See, if you apply compost in your field, it is slow releasing manure. It will release the nutrients slow, and nutrients will be available for the plants, to the plants for a longer time. So nutrient deficiency will not be observed. One another thing why the nutrients deficiency will not be observed, because more amount of micronutrient uptake by the plants. So nutrient available to plant for a longer time. These 3 points to think. First thing, this compost is a slow releasing nutrient manure. It releases nutrients slowly for a longer time. So there is no chance of deficiency. When you apply chemical fertilizer for the nutrient supply, you have the specific fertilizer for the specific nutrient. Most of the time you apply NPK. You don't apply this micronutrients to your field in a chemical form, but this compost, it has it has the buffer of micronutrients also, and the micronutrients is also available to the plant. So if you apply compost every year to your field and you do agriculture, your the nutrient deficiency in your plant you will not observe it. Fast growth and healthy plant, improvement in yield, and improvement in the quality of the produce. So these are the impact of agriculture waste. If it is used properly, it has the beneficial impact on the plant. Again, remember I told you this bad quality or poor quality or partially decomposed compost, if you don't have the experience, you are unable to judge, and by mistake you applied this partially rotten compost in your field, then what will happen? Can compost kill the plants? Yes. Though the compost is beneficial for the soil and plant, but the compost, if it is not matured correctly or it is partially rotten compost, it might harm the plant, stunt the plant growth, damage your plant, or even kill your plant. So this is the harmful effect of agriculture waste on your plant if your management is not proper. Means your composting is not proper. If you are applying partially rotten compost to your field, it will harm you. The growth of the plant is stunted. Nutrient deficiency will be observed. It will damage your plant, and in extreme cases even it can kill your plant. So that's why I am telling you, this is very important to judge that our heap or our lot is now completely decomposed. Only then you should apply it to your field. Partially decomposed manure should not be applied to the field. Partially reduced, if you apply partially decomposed material, it will temporarily reduce the plant nitrogen. Hence the nitrogen deficiency on the plant is observed. So this is the consequence. More weed growth, more pest and disease incidence. Even it reduces the oxygen availability for the root development. If your crop is growing in the field, definitely root should be developed, root system will develop, and it will develop your plant by absorbing the water and nutrients from the soil. But the root development in the soil, it requires oxygen. By applying partially decomposed manure to your field, the oxygen supply to the root is reduced. Why it is reduced? Because the microbes which are still working for the decomposition, they need oxygen. So the oxygen availability for the plant will be less, or it is reduced. Immature compost has high CN ratio, that is 30:1. Mature compost has 10:1, between 10 to 15:1. But immature compost, it has high CN ratio, that is more than 30:1, and this high carbon affects the availability of other nutrients. High CN ratio also produce acetic acid and primarily organic acid. This is the reason I told you that the partially decomposed manure will be acidic in nature, while fully decomposed will be the of nutrient pH value, neutral pH value. Again, you can go through the aerobic decomposition. When this decomposition process occurs, in between acid is formed. I told you earlier. Immature compost has high electrical conductivity, that is 3 or 4 deci-Simon per meter, and it leads the phytotoxicity of salts to the plant. High potassium content is crop residue can burn plant roots. This is in. High potassium content in crop residue can burn the plant roots. So this is the harmful effect if we apply partially decomposed manure to your field, and this will be the effect if you sow the seed in your field just after the incorporation of residue into your soil. That's why I am telling you this is the best practice, that the crop residue should be incorporated into the soil. Automatically it will burn in the soil, but it will take 1 month time. So this practice should be adopted if you have 1 month time. But if you will incorporate it into the soil and immediately you will sow the seed, so that bad consequences will be observed in this field also, because here the crop residue is composting in the field, or its decomposition is going on in the field, and it is not fully decomposed at the time, and you are growing a crop over it, so that bad consequences will be observed in this field also. So this is the reason, if you have a time, then go for the incorporation of crop residue into the soil, because you incorporate it into the soil, irrigate the field, at least 21 days are required to sow the next crop. This is the reason why farmers go for the burning. Otherwise farmers have less time to sow the next crop. They cannot wait for 21 days. So these are the effect of crop residue on plant if it is managed properly, or if it is not managed properly. If it is not managed properly, then it can kill the plant also. The next management of residue is mulching. So this crop residue is managed like as mulching. So this mulching, here the decomposition is not required. This one thing I want to tell you, mulching is done from the dry crop residue only. If it is wet residue or wet agricultural waste, the mulching is not done. These are the dry agricultural waste. So mulching can be done by the dry agricultural, dry leaves, straw or chaff can be used as mulching. So it conserves the moisture in the soil. It restricts the weed growth. It improves the root growth of the plant. So it gives good growth to the plant. One thing. Another, sometimes it restricts the entry of oxygen into the soil. So it is the harmful effect of mulching to the crop. It harbors the insect. Some dry agriculture waste, it attracts the insect also. So the insect problem in the field may high. So this may be a problem of organic mulch. This is called as organic mulch also. So this crop residue, if it is managed as a mulching, it has certain beneficial impact and it has certain negative impact on the plant also. This mulching basically being done by the dry crop residue, it is not decomposed. But here that disadvantage, that is, if it will decompose, it will absorb the nitrogen from the soil and your plant will suffer from the nitrogen deficiency. This will not happen here, because the mulching, the crop residue is resting on the soil surface. Only the lower layer of this mulch, which is in the contact of soil, it will decompose slowly, and it is added into the soil when it is decomposed. So it is not decomposing in the soil, so it will not absorb the nitrogen from the soil. So it is mulching basically. So it has certain beneficial impact and some negative impact, that it harbor the insect also. This I want to tell you, the special slide. This is strawberry. In both photograph, the crop is strawberry. This is strawberry in flowering. Here the strawberry is in fruiting. This is rice straw used as a mulch or in strawberry field. This plant is strawberry because it grows on the straw mulch. That's why its name is strawberry. This is berry. Berry is a fruit. This is a plant. This is a plant. The fruit is berry. So it is berry. Fruit is berry. And the practice, because it is a runner plant, so when it is in fruiting, the fruit will touch the ground surface and then fruit can spoil. So to save the fruit to touch the ground surface, this is an old practice and common practice that strawberry is, every time the field of the strawberry is mulched with rice straw. So the berry, the fruit, the plant which is giving you the fruit, that is berry, that berry will not touch the ground surface or soil surface directly, it will rest on the straw. And this is a dry straw, so it has no harmful impact on the fruit, even it will, the good fruit quality can be harvested. So this is the reason the plant or fruit name is strawberry. But I told you, in the older time, strawberry all the time it was grown on the rice straw only, on the mulch of rice straw. But as I told you, it harbored the insect. It harbored the insect also. So this was the problem which farmers were observing there. So nowadays, this straw mulch is converted into the plastic mulch. And nowadays, farmers are growing strawberry on the plastic mulch also. Even the very good quality fruits and good yield is observed while using the plastic mulch. So strawberry basically, the practice was that it should be grown on the rice straw mulch. But even the farmers are forgetting rice straw as a mulch and they are using plastic mulch. This farmer, his name is Satyendra Kumar. He is from Barabanki district of Uttar Pradesh. I know this farmer. He has invested 4 lakh in this 1 acre field and he has earned 13 lakh rupees from the 1 acre field. So after deducting the cost, 9 lakh profit from this strawberry plant in one season he has earned. He has taken a very good yield of strawberry from the field and even Yogi Adityanath has awarded him. I can give you the number of this farmer, you can talk to me. So today what we have learned, we have understood the features of good quality and poor quality compost. Understood the importance of good compost. Here we have also understood that how harmful it will be if compost is of poor quality. And the management of crop residue by mulching is a good practice that also been understood in this lecture. For the further studies, these 2 articles are available. Composting Parameters and Compost Quality, a literature review. It is published in Organic Agriculture. It is a journal, Organic Agriculture, volume 8, number 2. From page 1 to 18, it can be studied. Another is the article of Rajput R.K. and Singh M. Efficiency of different mulches on conserving soil moisture in cotton, Indian Journal of Agronomy, volume 15, Indian Journal of Agronomy. It can also be studied. Thank you very much.